I hate apologies. Is that weird? Nobody can tell you in confidence that something is not going to work out for you. It just really did me in, okay? You're one of your favorite YouTube creators. It wouldn't not have happened if I had just listened to myself. This just doesn't work. We just don't mesh well. Hi Bookies. My hyperness. I just finished my hair. And first of all, can we get a moment of silence for the hair? Can we get a moment of silence? Now that that's over and done with.
We're gone for a year, only go like once. Life moves fast when you do what you want.
Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we are really just getting into some of the things I learned in 2024 and how I'm approaching 2025 because baby, new year, new me. Okay, not really, but on a serious note, we're gonna get into some of the things that I learned from 2024, what I'm carrying into 2025, what I'm changing about 2025 in myself, some of my goals, some of the things on my vision board. We are really just gonna get up close and personal with it, like, because 2024 was I feel like everybody is saying this, but I really feel like 2024 was a transformational year. Like, I learned so much, a lot of things I would not do again. No regrets, of course. We don't live our lives with any regrets, but a lot of things I just wouldn't do again. So we learned a lot of that, and then we had a lot happen to us, things we've never encountered before. So going through it and kind of like, you know, just weaving through the stuff was intense. But it's, you know, it's a new year. We're going to leave 2024 in 2024. Not all of 2024 was bad, right? Personally, loved her. Like I said, a very transformational year. So while not everything that happened was good and grand and gummy bears and jelly beans and sprinkles, not all of it was bad. And even with some of the stuff that did happen that, you know, wasn't favorable, we still can't deem it a bad year. I learned so much. I learned I learned so much about myself, about people, about situations. It was a lot. So I can never say that 2024 did me dirty. It just really did me in, okay? So we're going to get into some of the things that we are leaving in 2024, but also the lessons that we are taking to apply to 2025. I would say one of the biggest lessons I learned in 2024 is I have a problem with applying grace and giving the benefit of the doubt, but to the wrong people and in the wrong situations. I have to look back at what happened in 2024 and admit that a lot of it wouldn't not have happened if I had just listened to myself, listened in God, and just trusted my intuition. Because one thing about my intuition, I'm always going to get a stomach ache. I'm always going to get like a gut feeling. I'm always going to feel like stopped in my tracks for no reason. And I just need to better abide by that, because that, like I said, when I mean majority of what happened in 2024 was avoidable, it was avoidable. It was avoidable, bro. It's kind of insane. Like I'm not gonna, one thing we have to do about these lessons that we're learning, never bash ourselves for it. This is our first time at life. We're bound to make mistakes. Nobody is perfect. And it's gonna be okay, because at the end of the day ends. And we're gonna push through, and we're just gonna take what we learned from the situations, because they're never a mistake. We're gonna take what we learned from the situations and just apply it so we know better in the future. And I'm the type of person where I have to mess around to find out. And that's really where my benefit of the doubt and grace comes into, because I'll hear things about somebody, I'll get that gut feeling, but still I won't trust what I'm hearing, I won't trust what I'm feeling, I won't trust myself, and I'll be like, well, let me give the benefit of the doubt to this person because maybe I don't have it all figured out, or maybe I'm wrong, or maybe they're wrong. No. Why would I do that? So we're not gonna completely not give grace to people, but we're going to pick and choose who to give it to and in what situation. So now we're going from benefit of the doubt to discernment. Now we're trying to see what situations we can already see through, because that's another thing with the intuition, with the gut feeling. That is, I feel like that's God stopping you in your tracks and being like, this may not be for you. This may not be the best move for you. And still, we push past that. We ignore that. We're just like, we don't really know. But like, you can't deny that feeling. You can't deny the fact that you literally just had something within you stop you for just, even if it was a moment, even if it was like for a second, we can't push past the fact that we were just stopped in our tracks by something, and that it was for no reason. Nothing happens for no reason. Everything happens for a reason. And that was another thing. I think at 24, I had a conversation with a customer, and he was explaining to me his situation, and it was kind of it was definitely sad, and my heart goes out to him. I hope he's doing well now. But something that like I find a lot of peace in is everything happens for a reason. I really do. And even if it doesn't make sense now, it'll make sense later. So I don't stress about the things I don't know. I do worry a little bit about the things I don't know, because, you know, just the anxiety and the suspense of it all. But I try not to focus on necessarily what I don't know, and just trust in the fact that it will all make sense eventually, even if it doesn't make sense to me now or anytime soon. But that is going to make sense eventually. So as he's explaining to me what he's going through, I'm telling him like, oh, you know, everything happens for a reason. He's like, I hate that statement. I said, oh. And he's like, I just hate not knowing what's going on. I said, yeah. First of all, that kind of like gagged me, because I'm like, I think you're the first person to verbally express to me their opposition with that saying. And like I said, I breathe it. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like, this is the first opposing take I've gotten from that saying. So he kind of like he just kind of shifted my perspective to thinking like, not everybody thinks like that, but also there is an insecurity with not knowing what's going to happen next, or not knowing why something is happening now. And I feel like that's really where we become insecure in our intuition and our gut feeling, because they don't offer any security about what's going to happen or what you're preventing. They're just it's just a feeling. So a feeling is easy to disregard. It's easy to ignore. It's easy to push aside. But it's a feeling nevertheless, and it's something that I, going into 2025, want to take just pay more attention to, because a lot of the stuff that happened in 2024 was avoidable. A lot of what happened in 2024 was avoidable. Another thing I learned in 2024 is to leave well enough alone. A lot of times, frequently throughout this year, a couple of times through this year, people spun back. I'm not a spin backer. Don't spin back on me. You had your chance. You fumbled. Cool. Let's progress with life. Like, let's not try to backspace and backtrack and moonwalk back into what we had in the past. Let's continue walking forward. However, as much as I hate that being done to me, the whole backtracking thing, I would say things that I know I feel and that I know are the truth, but then I would sit there and be like, oh, you know, I'm sorry, like, never mind, maybe I was bugging. Like, again, not trusting myself. And a TikToker was like, basically what I was doing is an insecurity. Like, I just don't trust myself. It makes sense, because that even ties into the whole intuition thing. Like, I just don't trust myself enough to believe that what I'm feeling is trying to help me from whatever is about to happen next. Leaving well enough alone is just, it requires me to just trust in what I feel, because a lot of what happens is I'll listen to whoever I'm talking to, and I'll let them like kind of, I don't know if it's manipulate or guilt trip. I don't know if it's just like me being empathetic, but I'll listen to their side, and then I will kind of like diminish and dwindle how I feel. Although how I feel is really strong, and it's really just like trying to fit a gym ball, like them big bouncy balls at the gym, into like a cardboard box from Amazon, like this box, like a 8x8 type of situation. And what that does for me, it really harms me, because I'm not really able to kind of abide by how I feel. I'm neglecting my feelings, but also I'm just allowing a situation to prolong longer than what it needs to be, or what it should have been initially. So leaving well enough alone is another thing that I'm doing in 2025. I'm not I'm not taking back anything I said. I said what I said, and I'm standing on it, and that's on Mary and her littlest lamb. Speaking of bottling it in, kind of fitting that gym size big ball into that 8x8 Amazon cardboard box, is speaking on things when I feel them. Because I like to paint a picture, to kind of give an example. I like to go out and party, and then something happens at the party, and then I'll take it home. I won't address it at the party, then I'll take it home, and I'll lay in my bed, and I'll think about it all night, and it'll bother me. And then days will pass, weeks will pass, months will pass, and then when it bothers me enough to where, like, that's all I can think about, then I'll speak on it. Again, fitting my gym-size ball feelings into a cardboard box. I need to start speaking on things when I peep them, when I feel them. Of course, giving myself a moment to really just breathe, but also not allowing time to pass enough time to pass where when I do go to speak on it, it's almost like irrelevant and pointless for me to even do so at that point. So really just, as I said, speaking on it, because not only does that hurt myself, but it also hurts another person, because they're probably thinking like, oh, well, this happened like weeks ago or years ago or months ago. Why are you still on it? Or I didn't know you felt that way, and you're in my face and you're smiling in my face the whole time you have this, this feeling towards me. And it don't really be anything like malice or anything. It just be like, I just was never able to get over it. And that's just a me thing. So now that I recognize this to be the problem, we're going to take that into 2025 and make sure it's never a problem ever again. Like, we're doing better. Another thing, kind of going into leaving well enough alone and stop giving the benefit of the doubt, is allowing people to be who they are, or accepting people as they are the first time they show you. One thing that would have helped me is if I let people show me who they are the first time, and if I believe them that first time. Because, again, applying the benefit of the doubt, like, oh, maybe feelings were intense, or maybe he was just having a bad day, or maybe she was just having a bad day, or maybe, no. Why? When you're really about to make a change is when you're tired of yourself doing the things that you're complaining about, or doing the things that you're talking about. Like, as I'm talking about this to you guys, I'm getting irritated with myself. Like, why did I let this happen? Like, again, not going to beat ourselves up over it. We are just going to do better in this new year and in this new day. We gotta make the changes. We gotta look inward. A lot of what happened, like, I couldn't blame another person for it. It definitely takes two to tango. So yeah, they did their wrong, but I made the choice to either deal with it, to tolerate it, to stay, to respond. Like, I played my role to kind of keep all of what happened in 2024 and 2024. We are applying boundaries this year, and I'll get into that in just a second. Another thing that I learned in 2024 is to stop expecting myself from people. It's unfair to them, but it's also unfair to myself. It's unfair to them because it's like, oh, you're getting mad at me because I didn't do something the way that you would have preferred, but I'm not you, or I'm not in your head also. I'm not a mind reader. So why would you expect me to know what to do if you haven't really vocalized to me what you would like me to do, or if that's not who I am as a person? And then from my perspective, it's like, I'm getting mad at you because you're not showing up for me as I would for you, or as I would for anybody. And it's almost creating resentment. It's almost creating like these ill feelings towards that person, because it's like, you're not my friend. You're not doing this for me. And it's like, what you're expecting is too much from that person. Not everybody's going to be like you. You should expect to see yourself in people. You need to just manage your expectations for these people, and just accept them for who they are. And choosing, because people, being involved in your life is a privilege. It's not mandatory. It's not a requirement. So if you don't like how somebody is showing up for you, you can absolutely 100% kick them out your life. You can give them a one-way ticket out, because they don't need to be here if they're not doing what they need to do for you, if they're not showing up for you the way that you would prefer. And again, that's not necessarily you're asking them to leave, or you telling them to leave is not you not accepting them for who they are. It's also not you expecting yourself from them. It is actually you accepting them from who they are, and just being like, that's just not good enough for me. That's not enough for me. I'm sorry. Like, there's all love, and I love you as a person. I understand you as a person, but also with understanding you and with understanding myself, this just doesn't work. We just don't mesh well. See me looking down. I'm looking at my iPad because I took some notes. And I just came back from Florida Saturday. Today is Monday. And on the plane, I was reading Don't Believe Everything That You Think. A really good book so far. I'm only like 40 pages in, but it's really, really good. I recommend it so far. And I'll give you like a final review of the book when I'm finished it. But I love self-help books because they really do provoke thought. Like, as I'm reading one of the pages, I just like, I don't even know what he was talking about. The author was talking about for me to even think about this. But it caused me to like decide to make some boundaries, or to write some boundaries out of things that, of just things to push me to be a better person and to be the person I want to be, my better higher self. First one is, I am not keeping people around me who do not know how to communicate. And that kind of goes into what we were just talking about, of like accepting people and allowing people to show up as themselves, and allowing you to make the choice whether or not that's good enough for you. I'm a very verbal person. I love communication. I don't like to be left worrying or wondering. One of the things I no longer do, that I used to do a lot in the past, in high school, I used to overthink. I used to be an overthinker. And now that's kind of why I've adopted like everything happens for a reason and it is what it is type of mentality. Because when I tell you I would overthink myself into some unhealthy like avenues, and it was because I didn't really have enough information. But one thing I did learn, nobody owes you anything, and one thing that they don't owe you is the truth. So yeah, it hurts you, and yeah, you would like to know why this happened to you, but sometimes there is no real reason, and the person is just not open enough or mature enough to really communicate to you what that issue is. So you have to find ways to kind of make closure on your own. And I also like want to know what works for you. Like, what brings you peace from a situation where you aren't able to get closure from, or you aren't able to really have an honest conversation with that person. Much as we don't need a honest conversation, I'm also like, these are the people who can't have an honest conversation with me. The people who don't know how to communicate are people who are not in my life. I don't play about that. Like I said, I'm not an overthinker. I never want to be an overthinker ever again. So to protect myself and to protect my peace, if you can't have a conversation, if you cannot be communicative, or if you can't be verbal or honest with me, transparent with me, there's the door. And then another boundary I have is, I'm not repeating myself more than once to someone who claims they understand. I want to know if I'm the only person who feels this way, but I hate apologies. Is that weird? I feel like people will apologize, and they'll apologize for things they're not actually sorry for, and they'll apologize for you feeling a way that they don't understand, because they don't understand why you feel the way that you do, and they're just apologizing. Apologies are meant to like kind of offer some relief, right? If they don't understand how you're feeling or what they did was wrong, what is the likelihood of it happening again? Pretty great. If they are apologizing for something they're not actually sorry for, that to me is dishonesty. Like I said, I like transparency, I like honesty. So you don't gotta apologize to me at all, but do not apologize for things that you're not sorry for. If you're not sorry, say you're not sorry, or don't apologize, and we'll keep it pushing. I'll be like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Either we're gonna take it or we're gonna leave it. Instead, I would prefer you to sit there and ask me questions like, oh, what do you mean by this? Or could you better understand this? Like, I'm just trying to get an understanding of your perspective and how you're feeling towards it. I would like a conversation like that. However, people are not that open and honest all the time. So again, kind of, it is what it is type of thing. But instead of offering me an apology, because like I said, I just feel like people are not always 100% upfront with them, you could tell me like, okay, I understand how you're feeling. I'll do my part to make sure it never happens again. To me, that offers me more relief. Apologies are just a band-aid over a open cut. No, I need gauze. I need alcohol. I need the Aquaphor. I need it all. I need that. I don't need a band-aid to cover a big gunshot wound. I need stitches, okay? And to me, you sitting there being like, oh, I understand what you're feeling, or I understand how you're feeling, I'm just gonna make sure it never happens again. To me, that's stitches. To me, that's sewing and that's needles. I'd appreciate that a lot more. So I'm just not a girl who likes apologies. I don't know. Let me know if I'm the only one. Say you can't apologize to me. I'm just saying I'd find more value if you were to guarantee that it couldn't happen again or wouldn't happen again. I don't know. I guess that's just me then. You guys let me know. Let me know. Okay. So those are some things that I'm changing about 2025, because like I said, we're trying to tap into a better version of ourselves, a higher version of ourselves. So let me get more into what I'm going to do differently in 2025. One thing that's really important to me this year is showing up for myself. Because often, and in the past couple of years of my life, I've kind of second guessed myself, or I found ways to discourage myself and let doubt and fear and concern and worry and just, other people's perspectives creep into what I have going on for me in my dreams and my aspirations. So although these things are heavy on my heart, kind of like the intuition, we're pushing them to the side and we're disregarding them because they don't seem realistic, or they don't seem possible. They don't seem like they're within reach. So we are adopting a mindset of everything is accessible. Everything is within reach. You have no limits. I have no limits. God has no limits. There is no I can't do anything. I can do anything I put my mind to. I can do anything I put my mind to. So we're really affirming ourselves this year. In fact, I wrote some affirmations on my mirror. So as I'm getting ready during the morning, I have some things to repeat to myself. And I'm just doing things immediately when they come to my head. I'm planning how I can do these things. I'm setting myself up for what I want to achieve this year. That way, everything that I want to achieve is going to be achieved this year. Some things like I want my body to be T. I want it to be that girl. So we're going to the gym regardless how we're feeling. We are getting up in the morning and we're going to our gym, even if it's not a full on hour workout, even if it is 30 minutes and that's all I can give at the moment, we're going to the gym. Other thing I'm doing is I love making things. I'm a very hands-on person. I love sewing. I love crocheting. I love art. I love hair. I did my hair. I don't even know if I said that. I did my hair. I just learned how to do makeup yesterday. Like we're constantly learning things, and I'm so skilled with my hands, and God has blessed me with so many talents and so much ability to do things with my hands that we are really just tapping into our creativity, and we are reading the books, we're buying the books, we're watching the YouTube videos, we're just, like I said, doing things immediately as they pop up. We are, even if it doesn't seem possible, because for example, I wasn't sure how my hair was going to turn out. I was actually pretty nervous because this is my third time doing a quick weave, first time doing a side part leave out. And then we also added some color into it as well. So it's like, this is my first time doing it. However, with it being my first time, I feel like I did really well. And even if it didn't come out well, I was going to look at it like okay, well, what can we do differently next time? Another way I want to show more for myself is by producing content. I want to be more into content creation. I want to be one of your favorite YouTube creators. I want to be one of your favorite Instagram influencers. I want to be your favorite influencer. I want to be your favorite TikTok creator. Like I want to be your favorite content creator. So we're popping videos out left and right. We are doing everything that we can to make sure that my face is everywhere. When you're marketing yourself, you see Nike everywhere. You see Adidas everywhere. You see Fashion Nova everywhere. You want to market yourself in a way where regardless of whatever somebody's doing, you're going to see that product. So whatever you guys are doing, regardless of whatever you're doing, wherever you're at, you're going to see me. And that's how I'm coming. I'm coming in hot. I'm coming in strong. I want you to love it here. We're saying yes to a lot of things this year. Whether that's brand deals, PR, whether that's opportunities. One thing on my vision board is to speak at a conference or speak on a panel. I've done it before in college. But like now I want to do it bigger. I want to take up the challenge. I want to take the risk of doing something bigger, something that may seem outside of my league, something that may be outside of my comfort zone. I want to speak to you guys. I want to do meet and greets. And we're doing them. Yeah, meet and greets is happening. I'm sorry. It is happening. I'm going to get there. I said that one of the things that kind of kept me from being great in 2024 was just my own personal fears, concerns, and worries, but I'll let other people's opinions and thoughts creep into what I had planned and what I wanted to do. And like, it's not to say that everybody was trying to intentionally discourage me, but I will say it still managed to do so. Especially when it came to the people who I know want the best for me. Like, how could I not heed by their opinion? How could I not heed by their advice? But one thing I had to understand is I had to understand that there are no limits over my life and what God can do for me and what God has planned for me. That's one thing. Another thing is like, what I feel I'm going to do or what I want to do is a personal thing, right? My vision is personal. They're not going to get it because it's not theirs. And while they may have concerns and, worries about how it may play out, they don't know, just as we don't know, as I don't know. Much as, like I said, their advice is to be heeded and it is to be factored into what I do. Maybe just not as much as it did in the past. Maybe I have to kind of like just take it to the chin, like, okay, yeah, I hear what you're coming from, or I see where you're coming from, but I'm going to do it anyway, and I'm going to see, it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to work out, because nobody can tell you in confidence that something is not going to work out for you. That's in anything in life. Like, don't let anybody, your parents, your friends, your haters, don't let anybody in your mind trick you out of your blessing or trick you out of your vision, because it can and it will, and you will convince yourself and you allow these people to convince you that what you have is unreasonable or is unattainable, and you'll convince yourself that this is unrealistic and it doesn't make sense and it'll never happen. If you really sit there and allow these people to get into your head, if you allow yourself to get into your head, you will trick yourself out of your blessing. Even if again, it doesn't seem reasonable, it doesn't seem attainable, go after it. Like, you never know. It might be the most amazing thing that you've ever done. It might be exactly what you dreamed. It might be even better. That's something that I'm adopting going into 2025. Don't do nothing stupid, okay? I'm not talking about nothing stupid. I'm talking about things that actually genuinely matter to you and that will make you happy. Again, will not cause any harm to you or nobody or the environment. Okay, don't do nothing stupid. I want to talk to you guys. So if you guys have any questions or anything you want to say, get off your chest, talk to me. Like, we can talk about it. It was nice talking to you guys again. I love you so much. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are. Please let me know if I'm the only person who hates apologies. Like, that's one question I need answered by the end of, I don't know, but by tomorrow. Like, I need to know. Do the girls hate apologies too, or is it just me? Am I crazy? Am I, the black sheep of apologies? I don't know. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video.
Been gone for a year, only know like once. Life move fast and you do what you want.